Hello, welcome to week 1. This is the introduction to our seminar course. I'm Dr. Jennifer Mata McMahon. I'm going to start by walking us through the agenda. So this week we're going to be overviewing the syllabus and the requirements for EdTPA. We're going to touch upon the NAEYC Code of Ethical Conduct. We're going to do some activities. One is going to be the story about me, in which you share a little bit about yourself. Another activity in which we look at different educational models, traditional versus progressive education. And a last activity that is a guided meditation that's going to introduce you to a different meditation technique, or a meditation technique that is, and it's going to be different each week. And we'll talk a little bit about that when we get there. And then at the end, we're going to wrap up with the homework for this week and the following. So the syllabus, I created a video walking you through the syllabus, but some things to highlight. The modality of this course is hybrid, so that we're going to have some courses face-to-face in person, and we're going to meet in Sherman Hall room 445 this year. And some of our courses or some of our classes are going to be online. Those online classes are going to be asynchronous, so the module is going to open early at 7 a.m. on a Monday of the week of the online week, and close on a Sunday at 11:59 p.m. on that online week. So you'll be able to interact with that module and complete the activities online. The course readings all revolved around meditation, mindfulness, and how to promote an environment in the classroom that is going to nurture the child at a spiritual level. So I've redesigned this course to focus on my area of research inquiry and research interest that focuses on children's spirituality and how teachers can best support a child from a holistic perspective, including their spirit. All of the assignments have rubrics, the assignments that we're completing for this course, and we are going to be using SLNL to both submit EdTPA and to submit the key assignments for this course and the teaching folio that is a requirement for certification. So look at the video, watch the video for the syllabus, and it'll walk you through all the important aspects of the course. I recommend you download the syllabus from Blackboard and have that digital copy on hand, because there's a lot of links there that you can click and get to many resources that are going to be very useful for you. The resources that you'll find there for EdTPA start with a UMBC EdTPA support document. It's a Google Doc that is in the Google Drive for the department, and you'll have access to it. You can download those documents from there and have access and go back to them whenever you need to. EdTPA recording permission is there. You need to secure the recording permission from your students, the students that you have in phase 2, so that you're able to record task 2 of EdTPA, which is a video of you teaching a lesson. And your students are probably going to be in that video, so you need permission for them to be able to appear in your video. Suggested timeline and submission dates are also there, things that to help you keep yourself on track and keep yourself moving through the different tasks that you're going to be need to do in order to complete EdTPA and submit it by the deadline. This year we're aiming for April 2nd for EdTPA submission. EdTPA completion checklist is also there for those of us who love to cross out tasks once we've completed them, and also have a sense of how much more we need to do in the time that we have. So the checklist is there. You can add the dates of when sort of the target for each of the tasks that you need to complete, and cross them out once you've done them. And then the last document that you have is the EdTPA registration and submission steps. So once you've completed your EdTPA portfolio, what do you need to do to register and submit it to Pearson for evaluation? All of these documents I have printed out for you, and I intend to bring them to week 2 and hand them to you so that you have them both digitally and in a hard copy. So the NAECE Code of Ethical Conduct. So you'll see that you have several iterations of this code. NAECE has been working diligently to update it to include diverse learners, learners with special needs, English language learners, learners from different backgrounds, socioeconomical backgrounds. So we'll see that the latest version of the Code of Ethics is really reflective of the times and the demographic characteristics of the students that we're working with in today's classroom. So this is going to be a Blackboard activity for you to complete. So read the NAECE Code of Ethical Conduct. Identify one aspect that is the most important one, in your opinion, that you need to focus on. And that might be difficult because there might be several, but try to choose one that's really salient, that really resonates with you. And then identify also one that was new to you, that you didn't realize that was part of the Code of Ethical Conduct. And then share your thoughts with the rest of the class. And this is, again, a discussion board activity. So you'll see that there's a board for you to complete this activity. Share it with your peers and then comment on your peers' work as well. The second activity that we're doing on Blackboard is the story about me. So I'm going to provide you with a worksheet, and you'll see it here. One side of the worksheet, or page 1 of the worksheet, is blank, and it's a space for you to draw a story about yourself. So use as little language as possible, and use as many images, iconography that represents you. Think about your background. Think about the influencing factors that have shaped the person that you are, that have helped you become who you are today, and try to draw those in this blank space. And then you scan this and post it and share it on the discussion board. And you're going to choose one of your classmates' story about me, and you're going to look at it and try to infer what their story is. So retell their story to them. So the post that you're going to leave for them is a retelling of their story, and asking them, how many did you get right? How many were you able to decipher, given their the drawing that they chose to share with us? And then the second part of this activity is then, given these 2 goals, so if your goals are to provide safety and security in your classroom and create a sense of belonging in your classroom, what do you need to know, and how would you get to know your students and their backgrounds in order to achieve these goals? So answer these 2 questions also in that same post, and share it with your peers, and you can comment on what your peers post as well. If someone comments on the story about you, please let them know how they did. Let them know what they got right, if they were able to decipher your story, if there's more of your story you would want to share, please do so. This activity is an example of an activity that you can do with children in your classroom that are not necessarily literate, right? So that children that can't write a paragraph about themselves, but children that can illustrate themselves, and that can tell you about them through illustrations, through imagery, through abstract art, and can help you identify their favorite color, or their best friend, or activities that they like to do, and will help you get to know them a little bit more. So it's an activity that we can definitely do with our students, and that I encourage you to replicate. But it's a really good way to have the experience ourselves, to see what our students can feel and experience when we ask them to do something like this. The third activity is that is also going to be completed on the discussion board on Blackboard is Miss Nelson is Missing. Is through the reading or the listening to this audiobook, we're going to think about what are the differences in educational styles of the characters. So we'll have Miss Nelson and we'll have Miss Swamp, and they're two very different teachers interacting with the same class, with the same group of students. And so I want you to think about their pedagogical styles, the curriculum that they're using, their behavioral management techniques, their overall educational aim, and contrast them. So compare them and find what are the similarities, what are the differences, who has a traditional approach, who has a progressive approach, what approach do you think is the best one, what produces the best learning results, whom do you identify with, and so on. So reflect a little bit on this story in terms of educational models and your role as a teacher within that framework. And how would that then reflect in your teaching style? So share your thoughts, share your reflection on the discussion board, and read and comment on at least one of your classmates as well. So those are the activities. The other thing that I'm going to ask you to engage with are meditation techniques. So please complete the survey via the QR code before you start the meditation practices, and do this first. And then you're going to find the guided meditation. The first technique is under week 1 on Blackboard. All the meditations and other resources that are available in my the Spirit Lab portion of my website, and there's the URL link. You can also go there and find all the meditations are there, but they're going to be posted on Blackboard under each week. So meditation technique 1 is under week 1, meditation technique 2 is under week 2, and so on. But first, before you start, please complete this survey, because it gives me a sort of baseline of where you are with meditation and the meditation experience before we even start engaging with meditation. And I'm going to ask you to practice this at least 4 or 5 times a week, if not every day. It's 10 minutes. The more you practice it, the better the impact it might have on you. And I want you to be reflecting on what the impact might be. And you can be reflecting on a weekly basis for each meditation technique. You're going to see that there's some techniques that you like better than others, that are easier for you. If there's a technique that you prefer, continue doing that one. But try to, as the semester moves on, to constantly be practicing at least one of the techniques that you will be exposed to. And I'm going to be introducing a different one each week. Okay, so that is it. I'm going to go now through the homework for week 1. So reviewing what you're going to be doing on the discussion boards this week. So there's going to be a discussion board on the NAEYC Code of Ethical Conduct. There's going to be a discussion board on the activity about Story About Me. There's going to be a discussion board on the activity of traditional versus progressive education after you listen to and watch the video of the read aloud of Miss Nelson is Missing. And then I'm going to ask you to practice meditation technique 1 as often as you can. For week 2, so in preparation for week 2, gather the contextual data from your placement, from your phase 2 placement. This is going to be for EdTPA. So one of the first things that you're going to do for EdTPA is the context of learning, in which you gather all the information about your school, your classroom, the demographics, the characteristics of your students, and the characteristics of your school environment. Bring your mentor teacher's SLO. Ask your mentor teacher for their SLO. If you're the teacher of record, because I know some of you are OTJs, which means you're on the job, bring your SLO to class next week, and or the school improvement goals for the school that you're in. Bring them to class next week. We'll do a little exercise or activity with them, or at least go through them and see what that looks like and how that is going to inform your planning. And complete the readings for week 2. So check the syllabus. You'll see that the last column on the course schedule has things that are due, but the middle column has the content and the readings for the week. So look at what the readings are for next week and complete them. And that is all. I'll see you next week.